Good afternoon. I am Karma with Lewis Acre Farm, and this is Meet Me Monday. Thank you so very much for being here. Thank you for being patient and hanging out with us while we tried to figure some things out. We did have some technical difficulties, so we will not have Lori here in the studio with us, but we do have her here with us via phone. So this is going to be a first for us. But again, like I said, I do appreciate you being here with me and being patient as we tried to work things out. I want to thank those of you who are here in chat today, and also those of you who are watching the replay. My replay crew, you are amazing, and I appreciate you each and every week coming along and watching the interviews after the fact. And I appreciate you going and checking out the channels that we have on and giving them the support, because that's really what this whole series of interviews is all about, is supporting our community and showing them some love. So without further ado, normally I would bring our guest up on screen, but now we'll bring our guest up via phone. Please welcome to our show, Lori from Off Grid World. Lori, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Sorry about the technical problems. I'm all new to this YouTube stuff and just learning.
Oh, hey, it's all good. It's all good. Not a problem. You know, we'll work it out as life happens. We just roll with the flow and we figure it out.
We have to pivot.
So, you know, I am willing to work with each individual channel and do what we can to make sure that your interview happens and make sure that it happens in a way that makes you comfortable.
Oh yeah, this is great. This is fine.
So, for those of you watching, you get me and my sidekick Molly today. And I apologize, we're unable to bring Lori here with you so that you can meet her. But you get to hear her, and that's wonderful. So Lori, tell us a little bit about where you're from and about the area where you live.
Well, I'm in BC, Canada, and we just recently, 2 years ago, sold our property in the city and jumped in with 2 feet and came to raw land and milled wood and built a cabin.
Wow. So
yes.
Had you guys ever lived out in the country before, or was this all totally brand new?
Never lived in the country, but I've lived in small towns my whole life and tons of camping and outdoor adventures our whole life. So it's kind of like camping all the time.
Right. Yeah. I love camping, but I don't know if I could do it quite all the time the way that you guys do.
Well, we're certainly making things easier by setting up. You know, the solar just got set up, so we finally have power.
Well, that's awesome.
That doesn't include using the generator anymore, because we would run the generator in the evenings for a few hours to charge all our stuff for the next day.
Yeah. Okay.
But the solar is, well, it's weird to have power.
Oh, I bet.
For 2 years not having it, 2 years not having it is definitely almost boring. It's like, great, I don't have to start the generator and make a piece of toast. I could just plug in.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing when you've done without something for so long, the appreciation that you have for it once you have it again.
Absolutely. I am more water conscious now than I have ever been in my life. I am, yeah, water is life, and we really respect it because we had to haul it for 2 years
Right.
from the well, because the well only is useful in the summertime. We can put bring a hose up the side of the mountain and use the hose. But in the wintertime, we have to go down to the well and fill up jugs.
Oh my goodness.
We now have a big water tank in the ground that holds 17,000, I think it's liters or gallons. I'm not sure. But it's a big tank in the ground, so we have water in the winter now without having to haul it.
Oh, what a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think that is absolutely awesome. And I think that, excuse me, bad thing about being live, you can't edit things like this out.
Exactly. You can't edit the cat jumping up on the table and knocking over your stuff.
Right.
Well, at first I didn't even know how to edit, so I just loaded everything without editing it.
Yeah, editing is a blessing because there's so much you can cut out that you don't want people to know or see.
Well, it's just dead time, right? Like getting the cat off the table and giving them temptations while you're in the middle of something just to quiet them up.
Right.
The cats could be a nuisance.
Right, or screaming at the cats because they're fighting, or
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you have a lot of cats there now.
I do. I
How that went behind the bookshelf?
I have 6 cats that actually belong to me, and then I've rescued 10, and 3.
Oh, wow.
There were 3 that were pregnant. One just gave birth last Thursday, and she had 4 babies, and she went to a bookshelf that was hidden by storage, and she had her 4 babies on the lowest shelf. So we had to move a whole bunch of stuff to get to the babies to move them to safety.
Wow, eh?
So,
wow, that's a lot of rescuing.
Yeah. So we went from having 16 in the house to now we have 20. And we have her mother and her sister due with babies. Well, her sister's due the 15th of April. And her mother I don't know why her mother hasn't had babies yet. That's how close she is. So.
Anytime.
Yeah. But we're trying to find homes for as many of them as we can.
Absolutely. Does the SPCA help at all?
I'm doing this all on my own.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
We have a good program here in BC. If you're low income, you can get there's an SPCA spay and neuter program. They will neuter and spay your cats for free.
We do have a couple of programs around here, and I was doing the spay and neuter through one of them. But the vet that they work through had to go out for surgery, and so I could only do 3 of them. Before she went out for surgery, and so now I have to wait.
Yeah.
But I can't get the mamas spayed until the babies are old enough. So.
Till they're weaned, yeah.
But we're making it.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your family.
Well, I was a teenage mother, actually.
Oh, okay.
I'm 53, and I had my son when I was 16. Mm-hmm. I raised him on my own, and he went off to college. He's very smart, got a degree. Mm-hmm. He's very successful, And about 2 years after him going to college, I met Ryan, and he had a 3-year-old daughter that I raised.
Wow.
So I've been raising kids, it seems like, my whole life. So now this is my time. Our daughter's 18, and she went to do her thing because girls tend to do that.
Right.
And so yeah, we're just here by ourselves, just Ryan and I. And
Nice.
and yeah, they come out to visit, and it's different. Definitely different not having, empty nest, but I think our husbands are kind of like our children. We
Oh, so much truth to that.
Yeah, I usually bake a lot of stuff for Ryan, but I just had a health problem, and I'm still trying to recover from that. So he's getting store-bought stuff.
Yeah.
Which tastes funny to us. It tastes very funny to us when you haven't eaten it in years. It's like you can taste the chemicals in it.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just living the adventure.
Hey, that's embrace the journey, and enjoy it, because you only get one shot at it, right?
That's right. That is right. Yeah.
So.
And I'm still young enough that I can, work. Ryan's 9 years younger, so he's got some more energy than me.
Yeah.
But he's a jack of all trades. If he doesn't know how to do it, he will figure out how to do it. We knew nothing about solar when we bought our system. Ryan built it. He built it. He got the cells for that you line up and make batteries out of. He did everything, and he didn't know anything. It was all reading and watching YouTube videos.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so it's quite a lot of work to set up a solar system. All the components you need. And if you set it up wrong, you could damage your stuff.
I can imagine. My son's very into electronics and electrical systems, and especially computers. And so I have an understanding of how delicate those systems are. And yeah.
Definitely. My son has a Bachelor of Computer Science, so I probably need to get on the phone with him and be like, all right, help me.
Yeah, that would be, tap into your resources while you have them, right?
That's right. I'm happy he's coming actually the Easter weekend. I have not seen him in a couple of years, so
okay.
That'll be a real nice visit.
Yeah, that will be really nice for you.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
He's like, are you sure you want me to come? I know you're still recovering. I'm like, no, it's been too long. Come. We don't have to do anything but hang out.
Oh, that'll be so nice.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have any pets, or?
We have 2 cats. We have Dixie, and he's diabetic, so he's fun to deal with.
Oh.
Insulin twice a day, 8 in the morning, 8 at night. He walks around pretending he's starving all day long because, of course, he's on a restricted diet. And then we have Buddy, who is our mouser. He is a mouser. He definitely has kept the population down here. The first year we were here, I call it the killing field. There was dead mice everywhere, and the population seems to have really dwindled with having the cat out there doing his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cats are wonderful for that.
I did have a dog when we came up here, and unfortunately, a terrible story. She got hit by a car, and I found her.
Oh.
She was a little dorky, half wiener and half Yorkie. She was 13.
Oh.
So that really, yeah, it's the first time I actually talked about it, actually.
Oh, I'm so
that's
sorry.
been the first one. Yeah, that's been a terrible thing. So, but move on. But it's tough. She was my sidekick, literally.
Yeah, that is tough. That is
Yeah,
really
so
tough.
I think about getting another dog. Right now, we're not ready. I think we want to be more set up so we can, give it the attention it would need.
Right.
I think I'm with a larger type dog, more of a guard dog.
Right.
So
one more suited to the surroundings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That makes
but
sense.
that's only a thought once in a while. I have that thought once in a while.
Yeah. So you guys are out in the woods, is that correct?
Yes, we are. Our town is tiny. I think there's maybe 3,000 people here.
Okay.
And there's two gas stations, a little general store, and that's it. But when we go 40 minutes one way, there's a bigger center where we can get supplies. It's quite expensive there, and we go now the other way, and you've got Superstore and way better deals.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, right. I mean, I get out, I go out, I do my thrift shopping. I like going to the thrift store.
Yeah.
I find all sorts of good things there.
Yeah.
And the thrift store I go to, all proceeds go to the food bank, which I really, really like.
Right. So.
And we're just plugging away, doing a project. There'll be projects for a long time. The whole cabin, inside and out, has to be sanded, stained. Drywall has to be put up. It's basically just a shell. We got it to a shell, and then we're having. I got a tub in here this winter and a bathroom sink, so that was nice.
Yeah.
I was using a Rubbermaid bin the first year we were in the cabin. When the first year we were in the trailer while we were building, that was actually easier because it was a tiny trailer, but it had a shower in there and stuff. So, and a sink, So, but we're doing it. I can't believe that we came here January 24th, 2023, stayed in the tiny trailer. April, we broke ground, and by the following January, we were in the cabin.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
I don't even know how we did it. I have no idea, because we milled all the wood ourselves.
That's what even makes it more incredible.
We did it with a woodland mill, and I don't even know how. I do not know how. I look back, because there was days I was down, and the heat, it was summer, it was so hot. I was dumping jugs of water on myself, and there was days where I'm like, oh, what did I do? We sold our home. Oh, Lord, what am I doing? And, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that we did what we did in the amount of time that we did it.
Yeah. Well, let's greet our chat real quick.
I can't see chat, obviously. I tried to put it on the TV, and something's going on with I use data, but it should be fine.
Yeah.
I'm not spot off my phone, so I don't know. It's being weird.
Well, we have Ronson. Ronson is my son, and he's also my administrative moderator.
Yeah.
And he might be in and out a bit today. And then I'm not familiar with this one. He must be here from your channel. Tad G.
Yeah, that's my sister.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's my sister, Tina. Is it TAG?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my sister.
Okay. Well, welcome in.
I'm gonna be able to get into the chat. Here we go. Yay, on the TV.
Welcome in. I'm so glad to have you here. And then we have Rudy Fern with Autism Homestead. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. And then my husband is here in chat. And it's nice to have you here, as always, Logan Lewis. And there are others that are choosing to listen as a podcast or to remain anonymous in lurk mode, and that's perfectly fine. We appreciate everybody that's here.
Oh, absolutely.
So, let's see. What kind of hobbies do you have, or do you even have time for hobbies now that you're there?
My hobbies are interesting. I've just discovered foraging and learning the medicinal properties of the wild plants, and that has really been a new thing that I just love learning.
Yeah.
I've identified a lot of plants on the property, and I'm using them medicinally. And I like canning. I like preserving food. I like puzzles. I like reading. I like swimming is one of my favorites. I'm a water baby, so I love to go swimming.
Okay. So do you guys have a pond on your property where you can just go?
We don't, but there's a river that's not far. Like, it's literally down a path and across little ways, and it's a perfect swim hole for me, and it's got the perfect back toe where you just go around in a circle. It's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
That is
we would
awesome.
work the meal till about 2 in the afternoon, and then we'd hit the water because you couldn't work past 2 o'clock. It's just too hot.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
nice.
You couldn't get any relief from the heat because we're in a tin can tiny trailer. So you can't go inside the trailer. So you got to try to find a tree, cool down with a hose, anything, right?
Right. Okay. Well, it sounds like you have some really fun hobbies. I am really interested in learning more about living off of the land, as in foraging and knowing what you can and cannot eat. And I think that's awesome that you're taking it upon yourself to learn those things.
Yeah, it's been really neat, and there's actually a group where it's a Facebook group called Foragers of BC. So you can take pictures of stuff and post it on the site, and people will identify it for you. So once I have an identification, I can do a deep dive into the herb, the plant on YouTube, and then I take notes. I have notes, so many notes, because I like to have stuff on paper. And so yeah, that's been really exciting.
That's awesome. And then you mentioned, correct me if I'm wrong, you mentioned gardening?
Yeah, gardening is, we want to develop the land into like a food forest. It's completely raw land. So we planted a lot of trees, a lot of blueberry, blackberry, raspberry bushes, and I'm just going to do some garden beds this year to start. And long term is to do a greenhouse that we can run all year round. But it's a big job, and we have a lot to do with the cabin first.
Right, yeah.
So we're going to dig into the ground and do a greenhouse that way and try to grow all year round. And people are doing it in the snow all over the place. I watched all these programs, and it's doable if you set it up right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I just got my first hydroponic station, which has been exciting because the wintertime I wanted to be able to grow greens, lettuce and spinach. Yeah. So that's exciting to get that.
Right. Now, you're a part of the Survival Seeds 2025 collaboration, right?
I am. Yes.
I thought so. Okay.
3 times last night. I won 3 times last night.
That's right. Prizes. That's right. Yes. I won a T-shirt.
Yeah, what did you win?
I won a T-shirt.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I did win a T-shirt too, but I gifted it to somebody else in chat, my friend.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But I won seeds and a gift card, Amazon gift card. And then the shirt, so I wanted to gift it to my friend. Because I can't send friend mail right now because she's in the States and I'm in Canada, and that craziness going on right now.
Right.
So she sent me friend mail, and I want to send her something, but it's crazy. So I'm like, I'm going to give her the shirt and chat.
That's so sweet. Yeah. I just love the collaboration. It is so much fun and I learned so much.
Oh, yeah. I have learned so much. Because I'm pretty much a beginner gardener. We had a small garden in our old home, but that was new to us as well. So,
yeah. I do raised bed gardening.
that's what I'm going to do. Yeah.
And what I've done, I did have just your traditional raised bed gardens. But when we were forced to convert our in-ground garden to raised beds, when we built the new beds, we built the self-watering raised beds, and I incorporated hugelkultur into the raised beds.
That's amazing. Do you have videos on your channel on that?
I do.
Awesome. I have to definitely go have a look at that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, last year was the first year to use the self-watering beds, and it was incredible. The plants thrived. I wasn't out there every single night watering my garden. They were the healthiest plants I've had, and it just all the way around. I want to convert the rest of my garden into self-watering.
I definitely have to check that out.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's nice to go out in the evening to water, but out here, we're talking mosquitoes. A lot of mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully with the lemon balm and the mints and all these things we're trying to get going, we can mitigate some of that.
Yeah. Well, for us in the summertime, we don't get any rain. We're a high desert, and pretty much after mid-June at the latest, that's the end of our rain season. Sometimes even the end of May usually is at the end, but at least by the middle of June. And at least by the end of June, we're starting to hit the 100-degree mark. And it doesn't stop until mid-August at least. And our overnight temperatures, sometimes they don't get below 70, 80 degrees at night. And, you know, having to be out there in the evening watering your plants and doing that every single night, that gets tiresome.
Absolutely.
And if you can keep your plant's roots cool just by keeping the soil cool and moist, you have a healthier plant.
Absolutely. And I'm trying to set things up. I want to work smarter, not harder.
Yep.
Set things up so it's not so much work, because this is it for us. And, you know, one day I'll be 70. So I want to set it up to be user-friendly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, but yeah, definitely look into, and there's different styles of self-watering beds, but definitely look into it. It's a little bit of an output as far as cost at the front, but what you get back is definitely worth that initial output. So, and incorporating hugelkultur into it reduces some of the cost.
Right.
So
I'll definitely check out those videos. We do have a bunch of drip system stuff. We have to be careful what we do, because these beds are temporary till the greenhouse is up and running. So where are we going to put our money, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not sure it could be used in the greenhouse down the road, reused.
Well, where you can mill your own wood, you'd save a lot of money. with
Yeah.
us, we had to go and buy the wood to build our beds.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And
For this year, I'm going to grab some of the metal ones just off of Amazon because there's too many projects that are important. We need to mill the wood to build the stairs to get upstairs and move everything upstairs because we're just living on the main floor.
okay. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so gardening definitely does take up a lot of time. But it's worth it.
It's the season. Yep. It's the season. By the end of the season, you're done with it. But then throughout the winter, you can't wait to start again.
Exactly. So.
And I've been canning since I was 9 years old. We were put to work at a friend's house.
Nice.
So canning it's easy. I enjoy it, and I love hearing those pops at the end of the.
Oh, I know.
The pop in. But I've got smarter, and now I do small batches and not these 200, 300-pound batches of stuff where I'm going for days, and the floor is just sugar water all over it, and you're sticky, and by the end of the day, you can't even, you're so done, and then you got to get up and do it for another couple of days because you bought 300 pounds of something.
Right. So, okay, well, let's transition just a little bit here. So you guys moved from the city to your property now back in 23.
Yeah.
When did you decide that you were going to document your journey through YouTube or through social media?
Well, I was taking video along the way just for our personal self. And then in December, it was actually Carrie from Woman Off Grid with Dog. We'd become friends.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, do a channel. I'm like, oh, I don't know. She's like, do it. You're going to have so much fun with it. You're going to, like you meet people, you get friendships. She said, I didn't realize how much this would help me because she's off grid as well. And just the connections you make with people, genuine connections.
Mm-hmm.
So it was her, and I said okay, and I just did it one day. The survival seeds, she got me to do the survival seeds. She just encouraged me just to do it, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so it was I think it was December 9th I started the channel in 2024, and then I had some health issues, so I'm just kind of getting back into it. I was in the hospital for a month. It seems like I lived in there for a month.
So you've only been doing the channel for a few months?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just December. I think it's December 9th.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the end of January 28th, I was in the hospital till the third week of February. So I'm just getting back, trying to do, just keep up with my survival seeds right now, pretty much, and doing updates on that.
Right. Okay. Wow, your channel has grown really fast then.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying it, and it is growing, and there's new subscribers, and it's like, it's neat that, people like to see what we're doing, and like I said, I've made some genuine friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I'm out here, so I don't really have a social life. We left all our friends and family behind from the town we moved from, and so it's really helped me to connect with people and not just everything be work and no social life. So it's definitely my social life now.
It has done so much for me to have this channel, and it's incredible how you have all these people around you in real life, and you can't have that deep connection with them, but yet you go online and you create this social media presence, and you can form a deeper bond with people you don't know face to face.
Exactly. And like, I don't have a passport, but now I'm thinking about getting a passport so one day I can get on a plane and go to a meetup. Like, that's how wonderful this community is, that I would go to a meetup.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I've never wanted a passport. I've never wanted to travel. And now it's like, well, if I want to go meet some people, I'm going to have to get a passport.
Yeah. I know.
So
I want to meet so many different people that I've met through this YouTube journey. And I've got people right here in my own community that I'm friends with and I never see and rarely talk to. And
yeah, that happens. People are busy. They really are. And I'm at the stage now where it's like, how, you know, you can make time. If you really wanted to form a genuine relationship in the physical, you can make the time.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people they don't. So,
yeah.
YouTube it is.
Right. You can determine what a person's priorities are by the things that they spend their time on.
That's right.
So I think it's pretty obvious how you chose the name for your channel, but tell us how you came about naming your channel.
Well, we are off grid, and I do think that our infrastructure is going to deteriorate, and I think our grids are going to be really compromised, and a lot of people are going to be without power for extended periods of time, and it's really going to cause havoc. And so that's why we went with the solar and stuff, just to try to be a bit more self-sufficient. I do think our infrastructure is so aging all across the world. And some of the transformers are so old, and it takes months to get these transformers from different countries.
Yeah.
And there's ice storms, and there's snowstorms, and there's tornadoes, and there's fire, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. And so, I mean, it's an excellent name for your channel, obviously, and it has a big draw for a lot of people. The content that you have on your channel shows people what they can do to prepare their own families for potential disaster. What do you hope people take away from viewing your channel?
Well, I'm of a preparedness mindset, so I really hope people take away that it doesn't matter if you live in an apartment or in a basement suite, a house. You can prepare for your family. You can have extra supplies on hand. I mean, we all know that 2020 really disrupted the supply chain, and people were going crazy for toilet paper. Well, I didn't have to go to the store. I was able to allow people into my storage to get dish soap and toilet paper and milk, and have shelf-stable milk. And I actually helped a lot of people out during that time, a lot. And they were very appreciative. And I think a few of them decided that, you know what, maybe it is good to start having a little extras on hand. And, you could pick up a couple extra cans of something on your grocery shop and put it away and rotate through your stuff and buy what you're going to eat and eat what you buy.
Right.
If you don't like pickles, don't buy pickles.
Right. Yeah.
Even if it's on sale for $1, if you're not going to eat them, don't buy them. And I've done it myself. There was salmon on sale. I don't like salmon in a can, and I bought salmon. Well, I ended up giving it to my sister because I'm never going to eat it.
Right. Yeah.
So I had to take my own advice. but I was able to at least give it to my sister.
Yeah.
She likes the salmon. But, and just that you can live your dreams. We don't have a lot of money at all. And we were able, for years, we did not eat out. We did not go to the movies. We did not buy a coffee out. We did not anything. And we just kept, all that money went to preparedness items that we would need. So when we did come to this property, we had a lot of stuff to get us going. We had tools and all sorts of stuff. And we didn't have a lot of money. People would be surprised how little money we have. And they'd be like, oh, I can't do it. Well, yeah, stop buying coffee out every day. That's $3 to $5. I've never bought a Starbucks coffee in my life. Never. So priorities. What do you want? And it takes sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sacrifice to and self-control, not to just purchase things on the whim,
Right.
And you can save and come up with a plan. I mean, I was in credit card debt. I was in a lot of credit card debt. We actually used credit cards to renovate our home before we put it on the market. And so it was and borrowed money from family. We're like, okay, we're going to sell the house, but it needed some work. So we totally renovated the house. That took us about 9 months. And then we put it on the market. And the June before it sold, we put the trailer up here in anticipation of the house selling. Well, it sold in January 23rd or 24th, 2023, so the middle of winter. It's like, oh, I guess we're going up. Paid off all our debt, got the things that we needed. We bought most of the supplies, and thank God we did, because the prices today versus then are so bad.
Oh yeah.
So we'd bought all the solar, we had bought so much that we knew we were going to need, and it just sat in storage until we got the cabin built. And the Woodland Mill, I don't know if people know this. I don't know if it's just a Canadian company, but there's all sorts of mills out there. Like, it was like $5,000, but they literally have a payment plan where I was paying $180 a month. And this is 2 years before we came to the property. We're like, okay, we're going to need a mill, right? So we're pretty strategic with everything.
Planning ahead and being prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know that's kind of where we're at now, that Logan has a really good job working full time. And he has good job security where he's at. We're looking at getting completely out of debt, all but our routine bills, and then starting to save and prepare so that eventually we can go and buy land that's ours.
Exactly.
Right now we live in a mobile home park.
Yes, I've seen your videos and your garden.
Yeah.
It's nice. Did they pave? Is it all paved now?
It is. It's all paved. And it looks good, but it took away the feel of being in the country. Because we are about 5 miles outside of outside of the city limits.
Right.
And we're 5 miles from the city center exit is what it is. And so once it was paved, we no longer have potholes to deal with and to dodge, but it doesn't have that classic country charm anymore, to me.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's that much closer to being in the city, which is something that we've been having a gut feeling that they're moving towards this particular area will be city services, probably
Right.
within 5 to 10 years at most. We'll have city services in here instead of being in the country.
Yeah,
So.
It expands out eventually. My sister just made a comment that I make the best peach jam, and she's hoping for some more this year.
I saw something about peach jam.
Yeah, I mailed some to her.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ryan likes the peach jam too. He eats it straight out of the jar.
Well, I've made some green tomato jam. Not this last summer, but the summer before. I had so many green cherry tomatoes left on the vine right before our first freeze. And I was like, I don't want all these tomatoes to go to waste. What can I do with them? And so I picked them off of the vine, sitting out there in the freezing cold. And I picked every last little tiny green cherry tomato off of that vine. And I saved them. And I made green cherry tomato preserves. That was the best, I mean the best jam that I have ever had. It was so good.
It's neat how we can come up with these recipes when we just to use stuff up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was a recipe I found online, and yeah, it was so good, and I can't wait to make more. So when people come to your channel, what are they going to find when they come and visit?
Oh, they're gonna find all sorts of different things. They're gonna find stuff on foraging. They're gonna find stuff on canning, baking on a budget. They're gonna find updates of the cabin build. Okay. They're gonna find some of the challenges that I enter in with some of the other channels. And yeah, it's just a little bit of this and that. There's stuff on preparedness. Yeah, it's just kind of a daily life and drama. Like when we had just gotten the cabin this winter, we didn't get it skirted in yet, so we did have our line freeze for water. So, you know, of course, get on YouTube, say, yep, this happened. You know?
Yeah.
And, but this year, that's one of the things is it will be skirted this year. But you only have so much time with two people, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get things done.
Right.
And get the tank in the ground was a chore, and then but it's every victory is huge.
Absolutely.
Running water, electricity, it makes life easier every day. And the next victory will be getting a kitchen sink in here. It's all plumbed in, but I haven't found the proper the stairs. But I haven't found the proper cabinet that I want to drop my sink into. I'm trying to find something unique. I'm trying to find something unique that I can reuse. But it's hard to find the right depth. So I'm still doing dishes in a dishpan because I want to find something neat.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's exciting. And, you know, I just think that going back to the basics, the way that you have, gives you a totally new appreciation for our ancestors and what they went through and what they did. It was just life. They didn't have, they never knew modern conveniences. And so they didn't know anything different. That was the way life was.
And modern conveniences can be very, very expensive.
Yeah.
They're expensive, and then they break down, and then you got to replace it. And it's like you're chasing your tail all the time, trying to stay above your head above the water because, like the truck just broke down, right? So Ryan has to fix that. And these, I guess your horse could have issues too, but
right.
But it's just, and the keeping up with the Joneses is something I never done. Being a young mom, I use cloth diapers with my son, and everything just to keep the cost down, right?
Yeah.
So I've very young learned how to make do very young, just to keep this child in clothing and fed. And, I grew up in a home that my mom cooked all the time. So I know how to make stew and dumplings and soups and Yorkshire pudding and biscuits and things that people don't know how to make. People don't know how to make homemade pancakes. They buy it in a box.
Right.
And it's so cheap just to put it in your flour, baking powder, and egg, oil, and something liquid. And it's so much cheaper. I have not bought bread in years. Actually, I did pick up a loaf because I've been not feeling well. Yeah. And but normally I just throw it in I got a $3 bread machine, and there's a 58-minute quick setting on it, and I throw it in the bread machine in the evening when the generator is on. Now I can do it in the daytime, and I can make a loaf of bread for pennies.
Yeah.
I've added quinoa to it. I've added lentils to it. I just make my own rules. Right.
I love homemade bread, but
the bread machine says must use exact items. Really? Exact measurements. Blah blah blah. Well, I didn't.
You measure with the heart.
Ryan just came in he was out, and he just made me a coffee. Thank you.
How sweet.
Thank you. I couldn't get on StreamYards because I'm not homemade taste better too. I couldn't get on. I actually phoned her because I was having technical difficulties. So we're gonna have to figure that out.
So, hey, we make it work, right?
Absolutely.
So
yeah, hubby was taking so many challenges when you go off grid, and he's Mr. Fix It. So if something breaks, it's him. So he's got a honey to-do list. Plus, that's why I want to just buy some metal garden beds this year, so I don't have to get him on making garden beds when we need to make the stairs, we need to skirt the cabin. It's a lot.
It is. It is. Absolutely.
And I'm just keeping it small and doing basically my survival seeds, and something is better than nothing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, when we're done here, then we can focus our time on the greenhouse, the garden, stuff like that. Yep. But it's
so what
the snow is almost 100% gone.
What is it?
Our snow is almost 100%. Oh, I think it is gone.
Oh, wonderful.
Yep.
Wonderful.
There were some in the shady areas, but it's actually gone now.
That's great. So what are your future plans for your channel?
We're going to keep doing cabin updates and updates on the gardens and the food forest. Like in 5 years' time, this place will look completely different. The plants will look, the trees will be more developed. Just the progress that, if you stick to it and you're faithful, you will reap a good reward at the end.
Yeah, that's for sure. So is there anything else that you would like to share about you, your family, your channel?
I think we covered a lot of it. can't think of Grace of Fire. I think we're just looking forward to gardening, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Hey, Glenda. Okay. Well, if anybody in chat has any questions for Lori, this would be the time to drop them in chat. Oh, Logan, don't tell me that. Logan's no, off-grid, almost off-grid grandma. You haven't missed Lori. We had some technical issues, and so we are visiting with Lori via phone. This is a new one for me on my interviews, but absolutely we accommodate people however we can. We are.
Knows I'm technically challenged. I'll figure it out for the next one.
Absolutely, we will make it happen, and maybe we'll have you come on for Taco About It Tuesday sometime.
Sure.
Yeah. And then
I would definitely try to figure. I do everything on the phone, and so and I'm not even very good at the phone. I only got this phone because my sister sent it to me. I was using a flip phone, and she sent me the phone, one of her old ones.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I did. My sister saying how they renovated the home before they even went off grid. Yeah, we did talk about that.
If anybody has any questions, let's see. Hold on. Your sister says that you should tell us about how you renovated your home to sell it before going off grid all by yourself.
Yeah, we did touch on that a little bit. Borrowing money and using credit cards to get the supplies to do it.
Okay. No questions for Lori? Okay, here's one. What has been the most difficult part of living off grid?
The most difficult for me personally is the chaos. There's stuff everywhere. It's really hard on me. I kind of have a little bit of OCD, and like my home, everything had a place and was in its place. And here, you're constantly moving stuff from one place to the next. It's difficult. I have piles of stuff everywhere: building supplies, electrical supplies, tools. There's a chainsaw behind my couch. Yeah, hauling the water was very hard too.
Okay.
Yeah, but day to day, it's the chaos. But I've come a long way, and so I think it's teaching me, just to relax. It's fine,
Awesome. Okay, almost off-grid grandma says, where you live, Lori, is it like a community land?
Yes, it is. We have a couple other people on the property. They have their own little dwellings, and we do some community projects together. But we all have our own little section that's solely ours, and then the rest of the property we do. We share it. We're the run of trees along the, I don't know if you've seen that, there's a bunch of trees that we all planted as a community along the roadway. So that's everybody's. And what you do around your home is yours. So,
okay.
Definitely. So we're trying to grow food and then preserve it. And, yeah, it takes a bit to get it started.
Okay. Your sister says, I am talking about your skill set and perseverance.
OCT is our family trait. Yes, I do have perseverance. Definitely. If I can't figure it out, I figure it out.
Yeah.
Unwind after days of work. Actually, I go on YouTube and watch everybody else's stuff and try to catch up. That's how I unwind. It's YouTube at the end of the evening. Checking out. Lately, I've been doing a lot of watching channels because I am physically unable. I'm still recovering. So I'm literally only been able to pretty much do dishes, do some cooking, mild, some transplanting of survival seeds. I can't lift anything. It's very frustrating. I want to go outside and start burning piles, but I can't do it yet. I'm not allowed. So
that's frustrating.
Yeah, we do, Krista. We do have a root cellar, but I just don't show that on the channel.
Okay.
There's some things that, like Laura Jean said, don't share everything from Hippie Chick.
Okay.
And so,
how long have you been doing the majority of your cooking on the barbecue, and where did you learn that skill?
We got a barbecue, and I don't have an oven in here. I have a Coleman stove. So I just figured it out. I just did it, and I burnt some stuff. And then I learned that if I kept all the burners at a really low rate, it would maintain a proper heat, and I could bake.
Yeah.
I just figured it out.
You have burnt offerings?
Yes, definitely.
Whenever my mama would cook and it was a little bit on the done side, shall we say, my dad would say, "Oh, we're having burnt offerings for dinner, are we?"
Yeah. But yeah, I figured it out. Inside, I just have the Coleman stove, and outside, I use the barbecue for baking and cooking. I have my eye on Marketplace for a fully off-grid, unique brand propane stove. It's been on for several months. They want $400, and I'm just watching it, hoping it will drop in price. And if it doesn't, I will contact them and say, "Hey, will you take $300 for it?" Because I like a deal.
Why not just reach out to them and say, "Hey, I'll give you this for it." And if they say no, then say, "Okay, well, when you're ready to take $300, I'll give it to you."
Yeah. So, and it's a matter of the truck's down right now. Ryan has to do, what do you do on it? The front end? What? The ball joint. So we can't even go pick it up. So yeah, that's another thing he's got to do. He's got to replace the ball joint on the truck. So we're running the car right now. We do, Krista. We have kind of a small local group that we meet with. We've done barbecues. We've done. We'll do, like, I've done a couple classes where I show people my bug out bag and what to put into them. Ryan's done a class on pow pows, and we've had quite a few people come to these things. They're all of the same mindset, preparedness mindset, and it's a lot more in the summertime where we get together and kind of share our skills and stuff. And some people have chickens, and we don't have those yet. So we can get eggs. They should be producing more now soon. People's chickens, but
okay.
My faith plays into everything I do, Krista. I don't really share a whole lot of that on the channel. It's everything. I really think that we were led here. Everything came, all the doors were open. There was no stumbling blocks. We got this opportunity. This property fell in our lap, and we had an opportunity that we could not pass up. And so, that had to be the Lord, because, the gentleman that let us come here is an amazing human being and is just trying to build a community more of self-sufficiency. So he really gave us a good opportunity to come and be part of the project.
That's awesome.
And I do on YouTube. My church is YouTube. I've been to a couple local churches, and I don't fit in. I don't. I'm a worshiper. I'm a dancer. I'm a screamer. I raise my hands. And a lot of churches just aren't into that, so I'll do it at home.
Yes. Okay. Do we have any other questions for Lori? I did ask you before everybody else started asking questions what the most difficult challenge has been. What has been the most rewarding part of being off grid?
Just seeing what we've actually accomplished. I cannot believe we've done what we've done. And at the end of the day, you at the end of the day, you're tired because you've done something. You know, you're and being in nature like this is really, really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already went over that, right? But it's really rewarding, definitely.
Okay.
The wildlife is nice. The trees. There's just a peace. It's quiet. We're surrounded by nature, and yeah, it's just different than being in the city. There's
Absolutely.
It's just you don't realize how much noise affects you because when you live with it all the time. Where we lived, you could hear a smelter from just the echoes of a smelter that made tingy noises all the time, and it was really irritating. And you don't realize until you go to quietness how noise does affect you.
Absolutely. Almost off grid, Grandma would like to know what your next big project is.
The stairs, milling wood for the stairs to get everything upstairs, the bed and everything. And the stairs are next. We're just, the snow's gone, so we're going to be able to get down to the mill and get that up and running. We got to pick up some logs, which are really close. We don't take the trees from the property unless they're dead for firewood. We've been purchasing logs. And these trees out here aren't big enough to really do anything with. So we're definitely going to get some logs, and I will take footage of us using the mill and stuff. It's quite the process. When I first saw the mill and watched videos on it, it looks so easy. It's not easy. It's easy, but it's work.
Right. Yeah. That's fascinating to watch. To watch the milling. So.
Yeah, now that I know that I can actually mute the noise and then just do a voice overplay, it'll help because it's too loud. And I have sensitivity to noises, so I could not watch somebody do that on a show. I'd have to click off personally. So I could do a voiceover.
Yeah. Grace and Fire with Glenda would like to know what or who inspired you to go off grid.
You know, we have been watching off-grid shows for probably since 2010, 2011. We watched them and talked about it. Like I said, we are in preparedness mindset. So once the kids were pretty much done with, we're like, okay, let's do it. You know, and the opportunity arose for the property. This literally fell in our laps. So you can't say no to that, the opportunity we had here.
Right. Okay.
There's so many channels that I watched that inspired us to go off grid.
Yeah.
So many. And
can't really.
Yeah, I think.
Can't really pinpoint just one channel. Just
no, there's numerous.
Yeah.
So many. Yeah, that's true. My sister just put in the chat. Our dad was pretty much off grid too. So, he required very little to live, and I think I got that from him. Right.
Okay. And I think we've pretty well covered this, but Jason P. would like to know, what would you say is most challenging aspect of living off grid?
You know, there is, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. When you're setting up, this was raw land. If we had come to a place that already had a house on it, that may be different. But it's been nonstop work for 2 years. It's been extremely taxing physically, and it's getting set up now where it's not nearly as physical. But the first milling this wood was really hard, definitely hard, and having to fix everything ourselves. You can't just call can't take the truck in and get it fixed because they're going to charge you $1,700 to fix that, whereas Ryan can buy the parts and get that done. So he's got a lot of, you're working all the time. You have to be a cook, you have to be a plumber, you have to be an electrician, you have to be you have to wear every hat there is.
Absolutely.
Nobody's going to do it for you.
Absolutely. It truly is getting back to basics.
You don't need much to live. I mean, shelter, water, heat, and obviously food. But it walks through our yard every day. So
right.
There's wild turkeys. There's actually some wild rabbits. I would like to get some rabbits down the road. We're going to do gardens first, and then we're going to get into livestock. They ate all our trees. Well, they pruned them for us. Pruned our trees.
That's a very precious compliment coming from your sister here.
She's been through the highs and the lows on the phone with me. She's my go-to. Oh, some days I go just rant at her, and
yeah.
I don't know if I could do this. This is crazy. I'm so tired. Oh my God.
That's awesome that your family has your back.
Definitely. Yeah. We lost our older sister a few years ago, so we've the remaining sisters have actually become closer since then. And so there was 4 of us. The eldest died, so she's the next one in line, and then I have another sister, and then I'm the baby.
Okay.
And so it's the last couple of years that me and her have really gotten real and close with each other.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I lost 2 friends before they hit 50 a couple of years ago. One was 52 and one was 53. And they died within 2 weeks of each other. And they were my childhood friends. So you realize that you don't know when you're going to take your last breath. So do it. Just do it. The Nike saying, just do it. I don't want to have any regrets and be like, oh, I wish I would have this. I wish I would have that.
Yeah. You don't want to have any regrets.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, there's a kitty.
My computer keeps going dark on me. Almost Off Grid Grandma says she is extremely resourceful and a quality that I admire in you as well, Lori. I don't know if resourceful means tough. LOL. Okay.
The frugal lifestyle, yeah. If I can make it cheaper, I'm going to do it cheaper. A penny saved is a penny earned, and that is so true. That's why I keep saying it. Those pennies add up. Everywhere you can slice money, it will add up throughout the year. And, there's necessities. Like, there's things that I want. So if I'm frugal anywhere in my life, like whether it be cooking and not eating out and preserving, that money then I can then put towards something that'll better my life in the future. I'll have a little nest egg there. Like, I still need a washing machine and that propane stove, right? So anywhere I can slice money from, it's being sliced.
Give us some examples on a day-to-day, season-to-season basis.
Well, the wintertime is pretty crazy because it's so snowy. You're doing a lot of firewood because we don't have our firewood stocked up yet. We haven't been here long enough to get that going. So every couple of days you're out trying to get wood for heating. So that was basically day to day, right? And we're usually working on some project. I would be doing a lot more right now, but I'm down. I'm not allowed to. And that's frustrating too because I'm a doer. So I'd have this place ripped apart and reorganized if I was allowed to. So that's been challenging.
Yeah.
Very challenging. When your health takes a turn, it's really hard on you, especially out here. And that's why I want to set things up for when I do get older. You know, have the running water. Like a lot of people live off grid, they don't have running water. They're still hauling their water, and I'm like, there's no way. It was so hard to do that this last couple of years. I'm only getting older,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So to set things up.
Right. So what does a typical
Yeah.
day look like for you?
Well, get up, and the first thing is to feed the cats and give them their insulin and have coffee, and then do something. Come up with something, whether it's gardening or you know, just reorganizing a corner. There's always work. Making the bed, just typical things that people have to do every day. Still have to be done aside from our side jobs of you know, the firewood and now the mill will be set up soon, so we'll be at the mill every day, milling wood for the stairs, and
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of organizing. It seems like that's what I do all the time, is organize and find stuff. Find tools for Ryan is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
When he needs something, babe, where's this? And then I have to go, oh, where is it? It's in that box, under that box, under that box. A lot of it is literally looking for the stuff that you need to do the job with.
Right.
Everything takes longer. Fred. Absolutely. Everything takes longer. There is no such thing as a 10-minute job.
Right.
Because it takes you an hour to find it takes you an hour to find what you need to do the job. That's really frustrating.
Right.
Once we have a shed and all those things, right? But everything's crammed in the cabin, upstairs and along the walls.
So what would be the most helpful thing for you living off grid? The most useful thing for you living off grid if your community were to want to support you?
There's so many. just trying to get things up and running so it can function more like a home, right? The washer, the stove, and those types of things. The more I can get the home functioning, then the more I could do outside of the home.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes things easier. All these things make things easier. It's like, okay, I can just turn on the taps and wash dishes, and it doesn't take me 45 minutes to boil the water, to pour it in the dish pans. Like, everything literally takes so long, and you can clean as you go, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. It's definitely getting there.
Okay.
I want to be able to do more gardening and spend more time outside and work on the food forest.
Right.
Definitely. I'd love to be outside. I could stay outside all day long.
Yeah,
I'd
I
rather
hear you.
I'd rather be outside.
Yeah, when it's gardening
But-
season, that's where I want to be, is out there in the garden.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Okay. Well, do we have any other questions for Lori?
Space to raise cattle, not necessarily cattle. We can do small game. We could do chickens. We can do rabbits. I want to stick with small game. You can, if you do rabbits properly, you can get over 900 pounds of meat per year from rabbit, just with one doe and one buck. I've done a lot of research. We're not ready. We're not ready for animals yet. There might be a goat down the road, but I really don't like goats, so I definitely have to, for milk. But
Right.
yeah, we're definitely gotta, Chris. Yeah, we're gonna. It will be fenced. Like, we're gonna have to start fencing everything because of the elk. You're a farmer too?
Yeah. He works at
This land.
it's a working farm and zoo.
Yeah, I definitely want to do animals in the future, but we can only take on so much at one time. I don't want to get animals and then have them neglect it and not take care of it properly.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't. I've seen some people setups, and yeah.
Yeah. I've seen some
definitely
channels
wanna
that
be able
jumped
to-
the gun and they're like getting all these animals, and then the next video you see them getting rid of the animals because it was more than what they could handle. And
Absolutely, I know it would be more than what we can handle at this point. We're still building.
yeah.
But we do. Elk meat is delicious, yeah. There's a lot of wildlife, so we'll definitely get our tag this year and get us an elk. We didn't have solar, so we didn't have a freezer. And that's a lot of meat to can, and I don't want to can it all. I definitely want some fresh meat frozen.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I've had moose. I've never actually had elk, but if it's as lean as moose, we'll definitely have to add some fat to it.
yeah.
I wouldn't mind having some pigs. I could do pigs.
Yeah.
My plan is to have everything, and meat birds. I'd like to have everything processed before winter. I'd rather not have animals in the winter.
True. You
Aside
guys
from
get
me.
a lot of snow, right?
Yes, and it's a lot of work. It's cold. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think chickens would be fine, but I'd like to have everything, get some meat birds, some turkeys, some meat birds, and just have it all processed before winter.
Right.
And then try in the winter time to have some R&R. Try. To read a book.
Right.
I keep saying, I'm going to pressure can my beans in the winter time because it's a great time to pressure can beans. Hasn't happened yet because things have been so crazy busy with me going into the hospital and then getting the firewood.
Yeah. What predators do you have living around you, and how have you had any issues with them yet?
So far, so good. There's coyotes. There's bear, but they don't seem. It's weird. The bear seem to go on a different part of our community. They don't seem to come here, and I think because of the terrain, to get up is quite terrainy or quite steep. I haven't seen a bear on the property. I haven't seen a coyote on the property. It's been elk. But you can hear the coyotes, and they sound like they're close. But I don't think they're as close as they sound. Because their voices drop, right?
Yeah.
There's, cougars, bobcats can come around. It's very rare, but it's been really secure, and so that's a good thing. Haven't seen any of these animals on the property yet. They've been in the community on other people's properties.
Right. Yeah.
So, I do, Krista. Yeah, I'm not. I need to do more practicing. I'm not the best, but yeah, I definitely have cows, and we want to actually set up a range here just for practicing.
Always good to be prepared and ready.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I've got it chickens and small game, and I've seen deer hanging in our basement growing up, so I don't think I'd have a problem with taking care of business if it needed to be done for food. Yeah, and apparently cougar's actually really good meat, Krista, off-grid grandma. Apparently cougar is super, super good. There was an event where they had game at this one place where everyone brought their different game, and it was a taste testing, and a friend of ours went, and he said he couldn't believe how good cougar was.
Huh.
Yeah, I would try it. The only thing I wouldn't try is, domestic animals that we have
Right.
that are our pets.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get tags. You can get tags for everything out here. Everything for cougars, for bobcats, for everything. And if there is a problem with something, you can actually get paid $10 a hide to bring stuff in. When there's a problem.
A threat.
Yeah, if it's starting to take over the area and I forget what it is, but there is something that there's I forget which one, but they definitely have a list of things that they want you to get the populations down when they're really overrun. And so
Yeah.
I've only had bear meat from a friend of mine that made it all into sausage, so I don't know much about bear, but the sausage was good. And all the bears. We had more bears where I lived in town than out here. I had bears in my yard every night. They would walk through my yard.
Huh.
They'd be right out the back door. The garbage bears, right? They come down from the mountain and go through everybody's garbage in town.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, it was literally a daily occurrence. You'd be walking up the street, sometimes a mama and her two cubs walking up the street, right through my yard,
Mm-hmm.
because I lived on a hill up in town. I lived on a hill that they would come down from, and more bears in the city. Never seen one here.
Wow.
Really, a bear only breeds every other year. I did not know that, Logan. I had no idea. Interesting. I'm sure that we have poisonous spiders. Like there's the brown recluse around here, and what's the other one? The one with the hourglass. What's that one called? With the red hourglass? The spider. That's poisonous. Oh, I can't think of the name right now. There's just gardeners around here. I haven't seen anything. It's pretty cold, so they don't, like, in the Okanagan, they actually have some rattlesnakes in the Okanagan where it's really hot, but it's too cold. They can't overwinter here. So, Black Widow, yes, Black Widow. Yeah, the Black Widow came on coal cars back in the day, and so we have Black Widows. And brown recluse, they can be nasty, but that's why it's really important to wear gloves.
Yeah.
Really important to wear gloves when you're up there and putting your hand in a pile of wood or something, because you don't know what what's there, right? Even a little piece of wood in your finger can give you blood poisoning if it gets infected. So I've been really good with wearing gloves out here. As much as I hate them, when I'm gardening, I don't mind. It's good soil. I'll put my hands in the soil. But yeah, I've heard some horror stories on people being bit. And
Can we change the subject. Is there another question that we could talk about? Please.
Yeah. So we. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I totally understand.
What kinds of birds do you guys have up there that
Oh my
you
goodness.
enjoy
There's
watching?
robins, honeybirds, woodpeckers. There's a lot of birds that they look like little finches. I don't know a lot about birds, but there's definitely many different birds up here. I haven't learned them all, and of course, we have the Canadian geese that come through, and we do have a couple of woodpeckers out here. And one day I heard this peck, 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 peck on the cabin. I'm like, what the heck? And I go out there and there's a woodpecker trying to peck the cabin. It was so funny.
Oh, yeah.
And these birds that look like little finches, but the hummingbirds are just, stunning. They just buzz around. I put feeders up and they're just a delight to watch. And they pollinate too, right? Hummingbirds will pollinate your squash and stuff, the bigger flowers.
Right.
I do want to put bird feeders out, but because of the two cats, I'm worried about, setting them up.
Right, yeah.
But they can't get a hummingbird. They're way too fast. So, and also the squirrels, and I probably just, the squirrels are a nuisance. They would get into the feeders as well.
I want to get one of those bird feeders that have the cameras in it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They actually identify.
Really
they identify whatever is at the bird feeder, and there's some of them that will pick up the sound, and it'll record clips for you so that you can hear their song, and it'll take pictures, and it'll identify everything for you. And they have some of them, they'll have the hummingbird attachment so that you can.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be really neat for identification.
Yeah. The ones with the hummingbird attachment and the sound and everything are pretty expensive. But
right.
I really, really, really want one of those because we have hummingbirds and some really pretty birds that come here.
I've seen a lot of people building wildlife, and I actually watch it.
Yeah. So, oops.
There's nothing like seeing an eagle in a nest. There's some cams that they have. I don't know if it's put on by the government or what, but you can watch an eagle in their nest. You can watch their eggs hatch, and it's pretty neat.
We used to have a peregrine falcon pair in downtown Boise that had cameras on the nest, and there was a project right here in downtown Boise that helped bring the peregrine falcon back.
Nice.
Yeah. So, what about rainwater catchment?
So we need to get the gutters for the cabin, but the pipe that goes into the water tank is ready for the gutters to start putting water in. We need to get a UV water filtration system before we start collecting the rainwater, which is a $500 price tag. So my stove's going to be on the back burner. And because initially the tank was filled from the well before it froze, before the hose freezes. So, so we're going to get then we're going to be rain catchment into the tank.
Okay.
And put it through this UV system, and we'll be able to drink it.
I wouldn't mind doing a little bit of rainwater catchment here, just to get us over the hump from the start of this growing season to the time when we can start using irrigation water.
Exactly. I have there's some garbage cans around the property. There's a couple of those, the white totes that are in the cages. There's probably about 5 of those full on the property. But yeah, if I can use water from rain catchment to water the garden, I definitely will.
Yeah, that's the only
but
way.
We need to get some sort of screen over it because, there's a lot of pine out here, and then all the needles fall in it and just makes a mess. And then mosquitoes want to breed in it. So you gotta keep rotating the water and not letting it get too stagnant. Because the mosquitoes are bad.
Hi, Jerry. Welcome in. We're kind of at the tail end of the interview here, but we're talking with Lori from Off Grid World and taking questions for her right now. I do hope that everything went well for you today. So, have a great day, almost off grid grandma.
See you, Krista.
So,
see you, Krista. We'll catch up with you soon.
So, are there any other questions at all for Lori?
Lori's got to get going.
You got to get going?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a phone call into the doctor to see what my results were for my last CAT scan that I had yesterday.
Okay. All right.
They need to give me the opening to go full steam ahead again.
Yeah. Well, I sure appreciate you being here today, and
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry that it didn't work out through the regular live stream, but we will figure it out, and we'll have you back maybe for Talk About It Tuesday, have you hang out with Glenda and I. And
perfect.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. I've enjoyed chatting with you.
I'm going to ask my son for one of his old laptops, and then I can just do it on a laptop.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he must have several. He's a computer dude. He builds them, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me know whenever you're ready to do that, and we'll make it happen.
Awesome. It's been great. Thanks for having me on, Karma. I really, really appreciate you having me as a guest. And
absolutely.
It's been delightful.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed it.
So you have a good day and take care of those kitties.
Absolutely, I will. And you too. And
thanks for everyone that came up to chat.
All right. And thank you everybody for being here today. And I appreciate it. I've got to double check my calendar to figure out who is on for next week. I believe we have Create and Relate next week, but I've got to double check that. We'll have Talk About It Tuesday, tomorrow afternoon, 3:00 Mountain, 5:00 Eastern. That, excuse me, that is with Grace and Fire with Glenda. And that is at, did I already tell you? That is at 3:00 Mountain and 5:00 Eastern. And then, yes, tacos are not included, but they are not, and they are not required. And then there will be a video out on Thursday for Thoughts for Thursday, provided that I have a voice to record it for you.
Okay, Karma, I'm going to say goodbye. My sister's now calling me and the phone's dinging away.
Okay, I will talk to you later. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Again, that is for your thought for Thursday. Provided I have a voice to record the video, I will have a video out for you on Thursday. And if I'm unable to record that, I'll put something else up in its place. And I would invite you back for next week's Meet Me Monday. If you are a creator and you have not had a chance to be interviewed yet, please do fill out a interview request form, and we will be in touch with you to schedule an interview. It doesn't matter how big your channel is, whether you have a few subscribers or you have a lot of subscribers. As long as you are creating content, you are invited to fill that form out. And I'd love to have you come on the show and promote your channel. That's what this is all about. And I'm looking forward to meeting more and more channels. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here in the chat. And also those of you who are silently in the background listening. I appreciate each and every one of you. And those of you who are watching on the replay, I truly appreciate each of you as well. You are very important to the channel. You're important to me. And if you would, please remember to hit the thumbs up. That helps the channel grow. And if you would also leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on today's interview. That would be great. That lets YouTube know that you appreciate these interviews. I truly appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great time, great week.